What moment in video games made you go, "Fuck this"? The podracing level from LEGO Star Wars. My 8-year-old son was nearly crying when he asked me for help. After 10 minutes and only one lap progression, I called my husband. It took us about an hour just for that one level. First time I encountered a xenomorph in Alien Isolation. Hid in a closet for 15 minutes. Shut off the game and haven't played it since. Is no one gonna call out Driver for the PS1? Fuck the garage. Playing one of those build your empire games and had to buy stuff to get to higher levels. Nope. Go fuck yourself. Uninstall. The final boss of Final Fantasy IX. He had an attack that would drop your party to 1 horsepower each. He also had another move that would berserk your characters. I had fought him for a bit. But eventually he had everyone berserked and had killed off everyone but Steiner. At that point I could literally do nothing. Said fuck it and tossed the controller down. I went and grabbed a can of Coke, and when I came back, Steiner was still berserkered and still attacking all by himself. I sat down and watched as the boss kept hitting him with the move that put him at 1 horsepower. Steiner kept wailing on him though, and as I watched, I managed to beat FF9 without even holding a controller in my hand. There's always a moment in every Assassin's Creed game where stealth no longer becomes an option due to fuck-ups, NPCs, or the most common cause. Bullshit. That's it. Fuck it. Everyone dies. Edit. Thanks for the awards, you bloody good eggs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Toodles the seaweed level. Fallout 1. When I thought I'd just throw my stats around like any other Fallout game, I decided to stab a rat to death to save bullets. The epic, massively long and withdrawn battle went down like this. After a fair few minutes, upwards to over an hour of that, I decided that I should probably take a break and brainstorm a better character. Anytime I beat a boss only to realize I've only beaten their armor. Edit. Holy shit. Thanks for all the love, everyone. These are my first ever awards. I'll cherish them forever. PS1. First Resident Evil. I was at my buddy's house. It was an old house. The kind that you always had the feeling someone was watching you. Anyways, I was upstairs in his room and he let me try it out. He had to go downstairs to get something. In the game, I walked out of the beginning room and the cutscene looks to the left. Down the hall. And the zombie was eating that body. Then turns and looks at me. I noped the game. Turned it off and waited till he got back. I told him I just wasn't into it. A lot of scenarios in the OG Tomb Raider back in the day. Was the first game of its kind I had played, and there was more than a handful of times. Fuck this. Was exclaimed lol. That damn speeder bike level in Battletoads. When the mobile game I was playing went from no ads at all to unskippable 30-second ads. Instant uninstall. First time I played Resident Evil 7. In VR. I'm screaming like a bitch after the second jump scare. Whole lotta nope. I thought I was awesome at Madden. Then they invented online play. Some fucking 10-year-old used Hail Mary on every play and went for it on every 4th down and then blitzed me on every defensive play. And there was nothing I could do to stop it, as he just talked about banging my mom the whole time. Cuphead. The genie level on hard mode. I had beat the game on normal. Which is still hard but fair. And generally you can always say, I know what I did wrong. I'll try again. Hard playthrough. I cleared everything up to that level and even a few beyond him. But that genie on hard was cheap as hell and I couldn't even get to his final phase. After trying probably 50 times. Finally decided that I guess I wasn't beating the game on hard. God of War. The Last Valkyrie. Tried and failed at least 200 times. It can't be done. By me. When I first start and see that the camera controls are whack. My whole cargo getting destroyed by a moron on a flying bike with undodgeable missiles. Fuck GTA. I rented Fatal Frame from Blockbuster one night. I didn't know what the game was really about, so on a night when my parents were out, I loaded it up. Turned off the lights and started playing. Within the first few minutes, a dead body fell out of the closet. I turned the game off right after that and returned it 6 days later without touching it again. Failing the Vice City helicopter mission for like the 7th time and quitting the game. I never got past that mission. When I spent like a half hour tracking down and wrangling the best horse in RDR2. Only to have it be killed by random highwaymen on the way to town to get horse revivers. Haven't touched the game since. The cargo ship level in Uncharted 3. I was playing one of those Dark Souls-like games. I spent 3 hours bashing my head against the first tutorial boss. Realized I actually suck at these types of game and don't have the time to try getting good. And I just quit. Day 1 of No Man's Sky. After 3 hours of gameplay, there was a sense of déjà vu about the endless farming. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone video game. Back when I was a kid. That game was way too difficult for someone under 10. Timed missions. Fuck that. Fuck them. And fuck you developers for putting them in. This is totally completely 100% my own opinion. I acknowledge that lots of people like the challenge and the chance to prove their skills. I don't play for that. I just like the story. And a timed mission does nothing to advance the storyline. 8-3 in Super Mario Bros. The wounded frostbite spider in Bleak Falls Barrow in Skyrim. I used to have major arachnophobia. So seeing a giant-ass spider just come out of a hole in the ceiling, I paused the game and literally stayed staring at it for about 5 minutes, just building up the courage to unpause. Edit. Well, hot damn. Guess I'm not alone. R.I.P. my inbox and all that. Thanks for the awards too. The jet ski section of Uncharted 1 resulted in a broken controller and me realizing I might have an anger problem. Ishan the Sword Saint. I managed to defeat him though. First time Arthur Morgan. Friends had already ruined the ending for me. Arc players. How long do you have? This is a weird one. But I got Animal Crossing Pocket Camp a while ago. I thought it was pretty fun. Played it for maybe a day or two. Checking it often. That stuff. Now. I saw that there was a way to get these fun cutscenes with the characters if you got certain items. Cool. Might as well. Right. I save up my currency over a few days so I could buy the item and get a cutscene. At least. That's what I plan to do. I finally spend my money and what do I get? 2 outfits. 2 of the same outfit. No cutscene item in sight. Turns out that they were all loot boxes and that I spent time and all of my hard-earned virtual money on a loot box that didn't even give me anything of worth. Gave myself and Goldie the stupid outfits and deleted the game on the spot. Pick a Mega Man. Any Mega Man. The first mission in the first Driver game. Watching the Angry Video Game Nerds video on the NES Ninja Turtles and realizing 15 years later that I could have just walked across the fucking gap. I was ass deep in Quarry Junction in Fallout New Vegas with no 50 cal left. But I did have a stealth boy and 1 mini nuke, so tried weasel my way out. Didn't work. Because it's fucking impossible to sneak past a Mother Deathclaw, so I just kept nuking myself in frustration. Going back to play games like GTA San Andreas or Red Dead Redemption from the beginning. Those games suck in the beginning. Especially after playing it for a while. Being taught how to play a game you know how to play is so fucking frustrating. Go grab a bike, CJ. Fuck you. Let's get to gang warfare. That one level in Pokemon, I can't remember if it was Gold or Crystal, where you have to slide on the ice in a certain pattern. Years later I picked up the game to run through it again for nostalgia's sake, and that level broke me. Just couldn't figure it out. 12 years old. Home alone. About 10 p.m. I'm in our attic playing Sonic Riders on our GameCube, and then I saw Resident Evil. Do not recall which one. Which my older brother owned. I wasn't sure what type of game it was. Started it up. First zombie had me screaming like a maniac. Tried shooting it, but 12-year-old me couldn't handle the pressure. Went back to my room and sat in silence. Ground Zero in The Last of Us 2. The second Nora said no one had been down to those levels of the hospital since it was overrun. I just knew something awful was gonna be waiting down there. Max Payne 2. If I remember correctly. In the black room with the blood trail and the baby screaming the whole time. The Haunter trade in Pokémon Diamond Pearl. Fuck her. With the Everstone. Reading the walkthrough for Water Temple in Ocarina. PS1 Metal Gear Solid 1. Psycho Mantis and having to change the controller port blew my 7-year-old head to smithereens. As a little kid I played loads of Gears of War with my older cousin. The scene when Dom finds Maria brain dead and tortured in her cell. Then realizes he has to put her down. Was so upsetting and frankly still is. Bloodborne playing the old Hunters DLC for the first time. I went down a well and ended up fighting this big ass shark beast. I get it to half health only to hear another one of these motherfuckers charging at me from behind. Are you fucking kidding me? I paused and called it a day. Edit. Thank you all for mentioning the Beast Blade. Again, it was around the time where I didn't know anything about builds or easy tactics. I literally just used the moon sword and kept my distance. When I got blown up by a creeper after getting 24 diamonds. Edit. Thanks for the awards, friend. I was playing Dungeons and Dragons online. The way the game is structured, you generally need a decent amount of people to have a shot at beating the raids at level. But the raids are the best source of XP at those levels. I posted looking for people to run Vault of Night with me. 3 days later I still hadn't gotten enough people to run it. Decided the game was too group oriented to weather the decline in player base it had experienced, so I quit.